We finally have some solid information and leaks around the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, and it looks like this year we're going to be having at least 2 different versions. What's up guys, this is Saf on Super Saf TV, and let's break all of these leaks and rumors down Super Saf style. So as mentioned, it looks like for the first time this year we're going to have 2 variants of the Samsung Galaxy Note, a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 and a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Pro. Now, these are going to be available in 4G as well as possibly 5G versions. And the Note 10 is going to have a 6.3-inch display, whereas the Note 10 Pro is going to have a 6.75-inch display. Now, looking at these initial renders, although the base design language is very similar to what we've got on the S10 and S10 Plus, so that's the metal and curved glass sandwich, we do have some key differences. Firstly, the Note 10s will be a lot more squared off towards the edges compared to the slightly more rounded edges of the S10s. This is something that we do see on the Note series to give them a bit more of a notebook kind of a look. And it looks like Samsung is going to continue with their punch-out design for the front-facing camera. However, this time it looks like we're going to have it in the middle rather than on the top right-hand corner as we've got on the S10 and S10 Plus. Now, personally speaking, I have gotten used to the S10 and S10 Plus punch-out, which is tucked away in the right-hand corner, but then it does push some of the icons at the top more towards the right, and it doesn't give a symmetrical look. So having the punch out in the middle might be something that you like. So why isn't Samsung going for a pop-up or rotating camera on the Note 10 like they've got on something like the Samsung Galaxy A80? Well, I think it comes down to the fact that this is a flagship device. They are going to be selling the Note 10 in millions, and having some moving parts doesn't really seem practical when you're going to be selling at such high volumes. So although we're not going to have a completely bezel-less design like we've got on something like the OnePlus 7 Pro, we are going to be getting a very high screen to body ratio. Now, these displays are going to be dynamic AMOLED with Quad HD Plus resolution with support for HDR10 Plus. However, whether they're going to have a high refresh rate, 90 Hz, like we've got on the OnePlus 7 Pro, is still a bit of a question mark. Something that I would definitely like to see, but that is something that we don't have any solid information about as yet. Now, looking towards the back, we do have a different camera placement to what we've got on the S10s. On the S10s, we have a horizontal camera placement in the middle, but on the Note 10s, we're going to have a vertical camera placement towards the top left-hand corner. Now, these cameras are likely to be very similar to what we've got on the S10s, so an ultra-wide, a regular, as well as a telephoto camera. However, the Note 10 Pro is likely to have a 4th camera, which is going to be a time-of-flight camera to measure depth information. This is something that's only going to be on the Note 10 Pro, however, not the regular Note 10, and it's something that we have seen on the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus 5G. Now, internally, the Note 10s are going to be powered by either the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chipset or possibly the Samsung Exynos 9820 or maybe even the 9825. So the 9820 is currently what we've got on some variants of the S10 and S10 Plus. I personally haven't been too pleased with it, especially when it comes to optimization for battery life. It is an 8nm chip rather than a 7nm like we've got on the Snapdragon 855. So some rumors are saying that we might be getting the 9825, which will be a 7nm chipset. Now, this isn't fully confirmed, but if we do have it, that's going to be positive news for regions that don't have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855. And for RAM, we're likely to have up to 12 gigabytes of RAM. For storage, it looks like we are going to be getting UFS 3.0 storage. This is something that we've got on the Samsung Galaxy Fold as well as the OnePlus 7 Pro. It's super fast, it's twice as fast compared to previous generation, and it'll be a welcome change. However, this may mean that we're no longer going to have an SD card slot on the new Note 10s, and that is because an SD card, the speeds will be much slower compared to UFS 3.0. So having an SD card slot on the Note 10s because of UFS 3.0 does seem very unlikely at this point in time, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, what about the batteries? Well, the Note 10 Pro is currently rumored to have around a 4500 mAh battery, with the Note 10 having something slightly smaller. And there are rumors that we might have up to 45-watt fast charging. This is something that we've seen on some Huawei devices. It lets you get some crazy fast charging speeds. However, some recent rumors have disputed this and said that we should be getting 25-watt fast charging. This is something that we've got on the Samsung Galaxy A80. Either way, we're going to be having super fast charging on the new Note 10s. Of course, 45 watts would be amazing. I think wireless charging as well as power share go without saying. These are things that we do have on the S10s and are very likely to be there on the Note 10s. And of course, the Note 10s will be coming with the S Pens. This is something that differentiates the Note series from many other devices out there and does make it quite unique. In terms of the individual features, we've not got too much information as yet. Now, if we do take a closer look at some of these renders, a lot of you may be disappointed to see that we no longer seem to have a 3.5mm jack. This is something that I did predict when I checked out the Samsung Galaxy A80, which also doesn't have a 3.5mm jack. So it looks like although Samsung has been one of the only manufacturers that's been holding on to the 3.5mm jack for their flagship devices, is finally going to be saying goodbye. We don't see a physical fingerprint sensor on any of these renders, so it looks like Samsung will be sticking to the ultrasonic in-display fingerprint sensor that we've got on the S10s. And what's also interesting is that these renders don't seem to have a Bixby button, so it might be the case where Samsung is going to be finally ditching the Bixby button too. Another thing that we see on the top of these renders is potentially what looks like an IR blaster. This is something that we've not seen on Samsung Galaxy devices for some time, but it looks like it may be making a comeback. Now, what about the official announcement date and pricing? Well, current rumors are suggesting around the 9th or 10th of August. 10th of August would be a nice round number, 10th of August for the Samsung Galaxy Note 10. However, that is a Saturday and it's unlikely for a launch to happen on a Saturday, so it might be the 9th of August. But either way, it's going to be around that time. Samsung does tend to launch their Samsung Galaxy Note devices around early August time, with the release being a couple of weeks later. Pricing wise, current rumors are pointing towards around $1,100 to $1,200 for the Pro and around $1,000 for the regular Note 10. These prices do line up with what we're seeing these days, especially if we compare it to the S10 and S10 Plus. So I would say that this price range is looking very, very likely. So that's all of the information that we currently have around the Samsung Galaxy Note 10s. What do you guys think? Are you excited? Definitely drop me a comment below and let me know. Of course, when we have more leaks and rumors and potentially actual images, then we'll be covering those here in detail on the channel. So if you don't want to miss any of that coverage, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do hit that thumbs up button for me. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.